Hello everybody. Welcome to another edition of Steel and Whiskey. I'm Doug Evans.
I'm Michelle McCarthy.
We wanted to spend just a little bit of time talking about why we love steel fabricators in the fabrication industry. I've been in it a long time, and there's just some great stories within the industry. And I think generally, as you meet these people, and I've been in literally hundreds, if not thousands, of shops, they're all real, just honest people.
Down to earth people. I love to work with them. I grew up on a farm. These are my people.
Right.
Right.
But what's odd, or not odd, but what's interesting is that's the group and the segment of population that will adopt technology probably quicker than you'd think, because it's where the rubber meets the road. Like, they can't kick the can down the road. They have to get the fabrication done, and so they'll use whatever technology they can to be productive and efficient.
Well, and I think you've seen fabricators over the years really be innovative in the way they see technology and turn it on its head to be more productive or faster or more efficient in fabrication. Like a really good example I think would be using the ability to scribe on a stair channel, to scribe where the treads are going to go, to help for layout for stair assembly.
Using machines not as intended, if you will. They're
right.
Machines built to do a certain thing for some industry, but then they'll twist it like they've done with the handrail machines.
Right.
Twist it for their purposes, and I've seen a ton of that throughout the years.
Right,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
lightning rail, Vertec, where they take that DXF of the rail that's assembled, print it out, or laser project it, so they speed up the layout process and help people get to the end result faster. So it's really, really cool, because lightning rail was invented by a steel fabricator, one of our customers. So it's something that's just really cool to see the way fabricators use their own ingenuity to come up with new ways to be more efficient in the industry, and I love to see when SDS2 helps get be a part of that.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about BIM, and when we've heard the word BIM for the project, it's been around for a long time. But the fabricator's BIM, reusing data to order with, reusing data to run your machines, reusing data, was something that they just fully bought in 20, 30 years ago. It's just as technology's improved, they've adopted first. And I can't tell you the number of projects that I've been in talking to the fabricator where the owner, the first time he saw really the building in 3D was from the fabricator, because they had the technology and they were implementing it. So yeah, there's certainly a group of people that will push the envelope to get the project out.
Or even some of the fabricators that have the robotic welders.
Yeah.
That's kind of the new technology I feel like is hitting the fabrication field over here the last maybe 3 years or so. And building up your ability in a shop to pivot on a moment's notice based on what machinery is busy or not. Kind of like PBS mentioned in their case study that we have up on the website. They want to put everything through the Zeman welder. When they do that, they use SDS2 to design the connections and everything, all the materials that go on it a certain way. And when that's full up and they need to move it over to their other bay, well, they can very quickly use SDS2 and flip over to bolted to fabricate the quickest for the machinery in that side of the shop. So having the flexibility and the ingenuity to look at everything they've got, make sure that their pipeline for fabrication is full at every location, helps them be more efficient than others.
As a group, again, they're outstanding planners. They know how many tasks they need to do, and they know how to implement those tasks. And so they all know within their fabrication department how long stuff takes. And so they know how to plan, and when something goes wrong, a machine goes down, or a site, something causes a problem at the site, they can adapt to it just in their head a lot of times, because they're just really good at planning their work. And the other general thing about working with fabricators that I've noticed is when they tell you they're going to do something, they're going to do it. It doesn't need to be written down. It doesn't need to be in a contract. Generally speaking, when they agree to something, they do it, because that's the kind of people they are.
Right. The other thing I'd say too about fabricators and fitters and the guys that are working in the shop, some of those guys make the best detailers.
Yep, absolutely.
They understand how everything needs to go together. They have even just a little bit of computer savvy. They can easily switch over to inside the shop to become a detailer, because they already know what the end product should look like. Now it's just a matter of knowing what buttons to push to get it there. So that's something that I think we've seen a lot of customers over the years here at SDS2 do to build up their detailing teams, is pull guys from the shop when they're able.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Doug, I don't want to call you old.
But I am.
But you've been in the industry a long time, and I want you to tell me a story about a fabricator. Like, is there an instance where you've gone to a fab shop and said, oh, wow, what you're doing, nobody's doing this, you're going to save so much time by the way you guys have innovated and changed the way you're doing things?
I'll tell you a story, but I'll actually tie it into what I was talking about. And a fabricator's just being honest and on a handshake, tell you something, and then it coming to fruition. So there's a guy by the name of Roy Eaton with Central Texas Iron Works. I went down to his shop in Waco, Texas, and he had about 12 or 15 people in his plate department. And what he was doing was taking cardboard templates of every plate in the project, and they'd cut out the template, and they had it, usually a plotter would draw the outline, they'd cut it out, and they had where the holes were, they'd take center punches and create where the holes would, and they'd take it off and then burn it. And Roy said, he showed me the department and all the people and all the things they did through these plates. He said, Doug, if you listen to me and you guys follow my lead, we can get these plates automatically burned with these plate burners, which were new at the time. And that we could do all the plate burns and the holes in these plates, and he could take his 15 person department down to 1 or 2. I didn't know if he was right, but I bought his story. And lo and behold, he held our feet to the fire. He would call our programming developers and ask for certain things and demand certain things. But today, I don't know of a fabricator out there that doesn't have a plate burner.
Right.
Burning plates, and it's, in a lot of cases, fabricators say it's one of the most important pieces of equipment they have. Scribing is another example of that.
With the stairs and...
With stairs, or just being able, instead of having to have all the shop guys lay out every angle and every shear plate, to have this scribing done, and it's been a huge advancement in the industry.
Sure. I mean, they can even get down to draw the outline of where that angle or plate goes onto it, or call out the piece mark.
Mm-hmm.
Which is incredible, because you're basically putting the drawing up onto a piece of material at that point.
Yeah, and you think about all the money and time spent on technology on a construction project.
Right.
From at the beginning of the engineering and how we design it. But if they don't have that automation on the manufacturing level, then are we losing some of the built-in strength and accuracy of the process if it's manually cut and burned? So.
Sure. Okay, that's a great example. Give me another one.
This isn't a great example, but it's funny, so I'll say it.
Okay.
When you design things or when you detail with SDS2, you get all kind of reports. You get material reports, you get bolt reports, you get anything you want to export out of the tool, you can. And so this fabricator kept getting called by the field saying, I need more bolts. I need more bolts. And he said, no, I've sent you the bolts that you need. As a matter of fact, I've sent you almost twice as many bolts as you need. And the guy said, well, we're out of them. So,
where are they going?
Well, so the project managers, the fabricator, actually went out to the field to check and see where these bolts were. And as they were driving, the trailer was a quarter of a mile or better away from where the site was. And so as they're driving up to the site, it was pretty bumpy and it was a little bit muddy. And they looked down and he said, hey, how are you keeping the mud off the road? And that's where all his bolts were. The erector was using the keg of bolts to be gravel on the road. So it was another example of how the fabricator knew that he had delivered what he needed through the bolts and all that stuff. So
through the reporting capabilities.
Yeah. So he had to go out to the site to find out that the bolts were actually gravel. And so steel fabricators during the pandemic has been an industry that's been deemed essential. And it is, because these are the people that build our country. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be having the advances we have. But also, it's a group of people that can overcome and get things done. And you see that from how they approach their business. They are the people where the rubber meets the road. So there's no question in my mind that all of our fabricators will be stronger on the other end of this than they were going into it.
I agree. And hopefully here, as we see construction change in this kind of new world we're living in, they're going to find more ways and new ways to innovate. Whether it's prefabrication or modularization, or other ways to help get the site put together quickly. Steel faster and better to the site. Could be shipping, could be other adjustments that they're doing in the shop.
Modular.
Right. To make a better environment for us going forward in this new world of construction.
So thanks for tuning in and listening to another episode of Steel and Whiskey with Doug Evans.
And Michelle McCarthy. Drink with you next time.
Yeah.